Welcome to Tech Don't Sleep Podcast. It's your boy Bill. Okay.
You didn't tell me we were ready.
Okay. Hey, you gotta check with your sound guy now. You gotta check with sound. The sound man.
All right, let's go.
Eddie like a true sound man. Nope, not ready yet. All right. What's up? Bill McCleskey in the building with
My boy.
he said my boy.
Just be smooth. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie.
Yo, we got the hottest podcast in the nation. TechDontSleep.com. Follow us today.
Stop to lie. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Ain't no Chico. Just be smooth. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Can't stop to lie. Won't stop to lie. Ain't no Chico. Just be smooth.
All right, welcome to Tech Don't Sleep Podcast. It's your boy Bill McCleskey in the building with a special guest. We got Robbie. Robbie and I go way back, so you know what I'm saying. It's gonna be a good conversation. And Robbie is the owner of Hustle Media.
Yes, sir.
All right, and real quick, Robbie, just tell us briefly what Hustle Media does.
We're a full 360 social media agency, so we do community management, content creation, and paid advertising for brands and businesses in golf, beverages, and entertainment.
Nice. Ooh, that's deep. Something tells me that you've said that a lot.
I say that a lot.
Yeah. No, it sounds like you're very clear on what you do. I'm interested to talk to you, and I know that some insights will be given because a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we're using social media or digital marketing to get our brand out there to attract customers, and we just want to know what's effective and what works and what's working for you and your clients.
Sure.
So the way that we do this podcast, man, is we start out with a game. We start out with a game, and we want to learn a little bit about you, as the entrepreneur. So this game, Robbie, don't look at my screen, man.
I can't cheat.
This game is called Fact or Fiction, okay? Fact or Fiction. And some of these and you just have to tell me whether the statement is true or not, okay? Fact or fiction.
Okay.
All right, and some of this is I'm going to presume is related to your industry, okay? We're starting off simple, right? We're starting off simple.
Okay.
All right, here's the first one. Social media is pointless for an older target audience.
That would be fiction.
Yeah, no doubt. Fiction. All right, number 2. Companies that blog more than 15 times per month get 5 times more traffic.
Jeez, where'd you get that one from?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, where did... What would you say, though?
I think just on the law of averages, you're gonna have to go with fact.
Yeah.
I don't know anyone that does, but
That's what I was thinking. I need to start blogging if that's the case. Okay. Number 3, email marketing is not effective anymore.
that would be fiction as well.
Yeah, that's crazy because I get so many emails that I don't open, but apparently it's still effective.
Yeah, I mean, if you're engaged with the brand you're following,
right,
you're still opening everyone.
Yep. All right, number 4, 54% of social browsers research products on social media platforms.
Oh, I'm gonna have to say fact. It's probably higher than that.
Yeah. That's I definitely do that, especially if I haven't heard of the product.
Yeah.
All right, number 5, a mobile website is pointless for small businesses.
That's probably the most fiction I've ever heard by far.
Because most people, like, even on like Facebook most Facebook users are looking on their mobile phone, right?
Oh yeah, it's like
or YouTube or
78% or more are all mobile.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, number 6. When it comes to customer care, 35% of customers prefer help over social media. That's interesting.
Fact for sure.
Yeah,
I would say that one's higher probably now too.
Yeah, that's a fact.
People do not like talking on the phone anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I notice even in our business, like sometimes we help customers over text message. So they come to our platform, our voice platform, and then we can text them and back and forth. We literally can solve a simple problem over text message.
Definitely.
All right, number 7. Every business needs a logo in order for clients to recognize a brand.
I'm gonna go with fiction. I mean, it definitely helps, but I don't think you need a logo. Great customer service and great, work speaks for itself.
According to my Google Doc, you are correct.
Really? Okay.
Fiction. All right, number 8. Marketing and advertising are the same thing.
Ooh. I'm going to go with fiction.
Yeah, let me see here. Yeah, fiction.
I mean, I think they're two separate messages.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. All right. Number 9, using videos on landing pages can increase conversions by 86%.
Fact.
Yeah.
Video is king.
All right, and last one. The average buyer consults 11 consumer reviews on the path to a purchase.
Man, I think with social ads changing the game, I'm going to say fiction on that one.
All right. No, it says fact here.
Does it?
Yeah. But,
I mean, do you do that?
Do I look at reviews?
Do you look at 11?
No.
Right?
I don't look at 11.
I mean, I feel like, especially the way we can do social ads and retargeting, we're almost going more off aesthetics and how does it look then. Yeah. That's just my personal opinion.
And it's funny, I only look at reviews when I buy something on Amazon.
Yep.
Or if I'm going to a restaurant I've never been to.
I think that question could be it could depend on the demographic, right?
Yeah.
Like my mom is reading 60 reviews. But I'm just like, is the picture look cool? I'll try it, and if it doesn't work, I'll never buy it again.
Yeah, and I'm more so, I'll go to the social media page. I'll go to the IG page and look at the engagement and stuff like that. Yeah, no, that's cool. No, I think it's really important, man, because, it's like the Wild West out there now. You got all these platforms, and we see people or customers, or not customers, but products going viral or videos going viral and getting all this attention, and everybody's kind of fighting for attention. And, sometimes we think, something is effective, or we try to duplicate something.
Yep.
And it doesn't work. But I really want to jump into some things as it relates to your industry. I got this article, man, and the title of this article is 5 Reasons Why Facebook Ads Don't Work. Okay.
Sounds like clickbait.
That's pretty good because I clicked on it. There's just 2 points I wanted to point out in here. One of them said your Facebook ads don't work because you're following Facebook's suggestions. So you know how like when you go to create a Facebook ad and it says something like, hey, get more likes or comments or shares, this post would do 95% better if you boosted it, and then as you go through the steps of setting up your paid ad, it'll give you suggestions too. So I wanted to get your feedback on that because obviously Facebook's trying to make money, right? I mean, that's their whole model. They want you to pay for ads. So what would your feedback be on that?
I think that's a little bit out of context just because Facebook is not in the game of one and done customers.
True.
They want customers that are going to come back forever and spend hundreds of thousands. So likely if their suggestions aren't working, it's probably a user error some way along the way.
Gotcha.
It's it. Yeah, I'm interested to see the other questions in this because, Facebook ads are a combination of creative and targeting. So 50% of it goes into what the creative you're creating, and 50% of it is who you're trying to hit with it. And if those match up perfectly with the relevance between those two things, it's a sure winner. Yeah,
gotcha. Okay, no, that makes sense. The other one that I found interesting was just your Facebook ads don't work because you're not patient enough.
True.
So basically saying, hey, I want to see a return the next day. I want this immediate, microwave return.
True.
When in reality, we need to be consistent and work that target audience.
Consistency is key. Building that audience and then building the traffic, getting the retargeting set up, using their lookalikes. Yeah, it just takes time. I mean, the reason Hustle exists as an agency is because I built my first business from $0 to $1 million using Facebook ads, and it was only because I did it over the course of 26 months of repetitive, exact new ad every week.
Yeah. No, that's crazy, man. Now, you shot through that. You said you built a business from 0 to $1 million with Facebook ads.
Yeah, so my first business was called Batch Weekend. So why a lot of people in Nashville know about it. It was the first bachelorette business on Broadway, and we literally built it from 0 to $1 million in revenue using $500 a month in Facebook ads.
Wow.
Over the course of 2.5 years.
So let's talk about this, because I'm done with this article, man. Now, I gotta understand. So do you still have that business, by the way?
Still have it. It's a website, now that just runs, and essentially we create lead generation for small businesses. So the hotels, the entertainment companies, whoever wants the bachelorette business, our website pulls them in. We figure out what they want to do, and we sell leads essentially.
No, that's cool. So let's back up. So before, was that your first business, Batch Weekend?
First real business, yeah.
Okay.
First true business.
So what were you doing before Batch Weekend, though?
I actually worked here at the Entrepreneur Center.
Oh, you worked at the... You sure did. I forgot about that, man.
Worked here, and then before that, I was at Enterprise Rent a Car.
Okay. So where'd you go to school, college at?
University of Tennessee, Knoxville.
Where are you from?
Chicago originally.
Okay.
Yeah, so moved down here for college.
So you went to UT, and then you came to Nashville to work.
Yep.
At Enterprise, and then worked at EC.
First, I was there for 2 years, and then kind of wanted to be, my theory was be closer to the sun, right? So at the time, Michael Burcham was the CEO, and I liked what they were doing, so I figured I might as well get closer to the people I want to be like. So I started volunteering, and then after a couple months, they hired me.
Wow. I didn't know that, man. So you started volunteering first, and then you got hired at the EC, and then what was your role at the EC?
So I was membership and events originally, so kind of getting people in the door, letting people know we're not just healthcare, all that kind of cool stuff. This was still when we had a location down on Broadway.
Yeah.
So we were at what now is the bar Nashville Underground, and before we moved up here to the Trolley Barns, and so I was hired to kind of grow the membership base. You know, at that time there was only like 190 members all time, and so they brought me in, and that was kind of the history. So that was 2012.
Yeah,
and I worked at the EC until 2015.
Okay, and so being close to the sun, what did that do for you? Being close to Michael Burcham and all these entrepreneurs?
Yeah, like I just felt like a sponge, right? I got to try to see what was going on, how hard it was to build a business, which a lot of people, kind of underestimate, and then also just what mistakes were being made, what guidance would they give me. It's funny because the two things of advice that Michael Burcham gave me in probably 2014 both became true over time, and he's like, you won't understand this now, but these are the two things that you're going to do over time. And the first one was I needed to work my business where it was completely self-sufficient, where like you have to remove kind of all the cogs in the wheel, which is labor, right? Like if you can operate Batch Weekend as a truly self-sufficient thing where I don't have to be there to make it go, it'll work. And that's finally in 2021, what's going on. And then the second one was, part of my language, but if you eat shit for 5 years as an entrepreneur, you'll go through everything that it needs to teach you to be able to be successful.
Wow.
And that was
that's what happened.
Yeah, I mean, that was right before I left the EC, so 2014, 2015, and then look at, we're 6 years later through a pandemic now, and I feel like truer words have never been spoken. I feel like I've gone through every peak and valley that is possible. And still here to talk about it. Yeah,
that's cool, man. All right, so so you gotta tell me why you decided to start Batch Weekend. Like, how did this idea come up?
Yeah, I was living downtown on Broadway essentially with my ex-girlfriend, and every weekend we'd be out and having fun. We're young 20s, and people would come up to us and they'd be like, what do we do? Where do we go? Where's the fun spots? And I was like, someone's got to be doing this as a business. And then I started researching it, and there was nothing.
Wow.
So I kind of just addressed a need and what I thought was a need, and paid a guy like $800 to throw up a pretty simple website for me. And the rest was history. Did the first party as like a straight a friend, and just said, hey, I'll do it all for free. Let me get market research, and that was it.
But the business itself is kind of like glorified event planning for bachelorette weekends.
Yeah, it's event planning. That's all it is. Like a concierge VIP type event planner service.
Yeah. So folks were coming all over the country, like booking your firm, your company to plan out their weekend and stuff. And you were generating leads with Facebook ads.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, we drew a funnel on Facebook from the Mississippi River to the East Coast, and we said, and we would just put out targeted ads every day that targeted engaged people, because you can target by relationship status. So I'd set a targeting that was 21 to 32-year-old females that are engaged, and say, hey, are you thinking about coming to Nashville? Tag your bride tribe or whoever, made it cool, and did some giveaways and all that stuff. And I mean, I would spend $100 to $200 a post, and I'd have 500 to 1,000 comments.
Wow. Of
girls just being like, yes, 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 that's what we want to do. And we just funnel that all into website traffic and in our business.
So when all these leads started coming in, I guess you had a team to kind of reach out and figure out who to book, who closed deals, or...
Yeah, we slowly built a team over time. It started out just me, but then over the course of about 3 years, we built out a team. And when I decided to leave the EC in 2015, I got a little bit of investment backing from some local, VCs and whatnot, angel fund here, and that's when I really built a team. So yeah, at the peak, we were 6 full-timers strong. We had a television show on CMT, and it was a wild little...
I remember the show.
Yeah. A lot of people forget about the show nowadays.
No, you got to tell me about the show, though, because, like, for me, when I saw the show, I was like, Robbie's made it. You know what I'm saying? That's like crazy marketing, first of all. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, from my perspective, I thought, wow, everybody's going to be calling him now.
Yeah.
So, but I want to back up a little bit before you got the show. Like, what happened in maybe the first year or so? Like, how much traction did you get, and how many deals or trips were you booking?
Yeah, I think year 1 we did 2 parties. So this would have been 2012, 2013. Year 2 we did 45.
Wow.
And then by year 3 we were doing like 190 plus. Crazy amount.
That is crazy.
And then what happened is it outscaled what we could handle. We realized that because what happened was you'd have 190 parties, right? Each party had 10 people. Each party wanted to be attended to, and each person by what they thought was perfect. And that's 10 different opinions.
Yeah.
So I kind of came back from a vacation. I was getting super burnt out, and I said, hey, I got to switch this model to something that can scale. I'd been lucky enough to recently go on a 30th birthday party to this thing called Yacht Week. Yacht Week is essentially a service. It's a week where you go on a yacht with 10 of your friends, and there's 100 yachts that do it all together, and you sail this route, and you go to different islands in the Caribbean and party every night. Just this wild, insane thing.
How long is that, for a week?
Yeah, for 7 nights.
Wow.
And you go to essentially 6 different islands, and there's a private party each night. So I got back from that trip, and I was like, what can I do to make Batch Weekend more like that? So kind of we rolled out this model that was more scalable, that was, hey, we're going to set 10 to 12 weekends per city that we operate in, which was Nashville, New Orleans. We're going to sell as many bachelorette parties as we can into those specific weekends. And they're going to get a set roster of things. So every night we would rent out bars on Broadway and throw private parties that all you could drink Bud Light, other liquor brands got involved. And that way we could control the experience from the beginning. And we weren't letting them customize it.
Right.
And that was easier to scale. I think our biggest weekend had like 230 attendees.
That's crazy.
All with a full roster of things to do, where to stay, where to eat, all that stuff. So yeah, so that was where it really caught fire, to where the TV show came in. They saw that we were making
So they reached out to y'all?
Yeah, so they reached out to us. We were making a commotion in Nashville, and they reached out to us, and they reached out to a couple others as well, but all the roads always led back to kind of me and my team. So yeah, so that was kind of the backstory and how it evolved into that.
So when they reached out to you, like, what was the conversation like? Did they say, hey, you guys want to do a show because this is kind of cool? Or...
Yeah, I mean, they were. If you want the full story, I'll tell you the full story.
No, I want the full story.
It's okay. So it's a pretty cool story. I tell this to all the colleges I speak at because they love it, right?
Yeah.
So they reached out to us and they said, hey, we're interested. We want to talk to you on Zoom. So I Zoomed or Skyped this lady, and she was a super eccentric red-haired casting director from LA. Like exactly what you would think about, like crazy cat lady, essentially. And she was like, hey, I'm so-and-so, and we talked for a little bit. She's like, I really like the vibe. She's like, I'd like to talk to some of your team. And I'm not a TV guy, and I wasn't pro doing a show, so I was like, okay, whatever. Like, we'll see where this goes, right? I saw the opportunity, potentially. And so she's like, oh, I want to talk to some of your team. So she did the same thing with our team. Like a day later, she's like, hey, we want to meet you guys. So she's like, in a couple of weeks, we're going to fly 2 of our directing people out there, or our casting members out there. And they flew out. We met them at Merchants on Broadway for dinner. And we got there, and his the name was Drew and Megan, two super sweet people, and we just had dinner. They said, "Hey, our boss wants to meet you," and I said, "Okay," and they said, "Great, she'll be here in 20."
She already here.
And I was
she's out back.
Yeah, and I was like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Well, she's landing from LA right now, and she's getting an Uber here, and she'll leave right after dinner to go back to LA." And I was like, "Okay, that's crazy." So we're sitting in Merchants eating just whatever, and in walks this lady, and I'll never forget it. And she's in sweatpants, a sweatshirt. I think she's got like slides on, and probably 250 grand in jewelry.
Oh wow!
Like literally has her initial on her diamond necklace. It's unreal. So she's like a New Jersey girl, right? So we're cutting it up, and with my, I'm kind of a pompous guy, so my attitude and her, it's like brother sister type stuff. It's great. Yeah. So we have a great time. And I still didn't think too much into it, right? I didn't really do it. Well, the next day I'm leaving on a flight to go visit friends. I can't remember where I was going, but I go through the airport and I stop in one of those newsstands, right? And on the newsstand, there's a Billboard magazine, and the title says "Kings of Reality," and it's 4 dudes and her.
Oh wow!
On the cover of Billboard. Yeah. And then I pick it up, right, read it, and then I start to really do some research. And I call the team. I remember calling the team. I was like, I think we have something here. I think it's going to happen. So it ends up that her name is Sally Ann Salzano. She is the CEO of 495 Productions. But what's important about that is that she is the creator of The Jersey Shore, which is the most popular and successful reality TV show of all time. Yeah. No one did it better than Jersey Shore as far as a financial standpoint. Okay. So that was that, and then it kind of went into contractual obligations. And I remember they sent an offer, and I was like, okay, I'll play hardball, right? Because I still wasn't pro TV, even though I recognized the opportunity, and I literally sent it back and said double it.
Well, why were you not pro TV though?
I'm just not that guy. I don't I just don't. I understand what that could do to your life. Yeah, you got to be ready for that.
Definitely. Okay.
So I sent it back and said double it, thinking they would just find someone else or whatever. And a couple weeks went by, we didn't hear from him, and then all of a sudden they just sent it back and said, cool, double. Wow. So then they kind of called my bluff at that point, and then I was like, okay, we should take this serious. It's enough of a financial benefit that it would help each person individually, because we were paid as actors. We weren't paid as a company. Okay. So it was more of an individual thing. So we had to have a meeting and be like, do we each want to do this? Gotcha. And if so, cool. So that was how it all came about. And then CMT, it was on CMT. It was called Bachelorette Weekend, but it was about our company and our cast and all the crazy stuff that went on. And it was 10 episodes, which followed around 10 different parties, which we filmed in 8 weeks. So it was crazy. Pretty much 16 hours a day, 6 days a week.
Dang, that's wild. So I tell you what, so your customers, did you have to get them to agree to be on the show as well, though?
Yeah, they did too.
Okay, I was just thinking about that.
So we did both. There was a little bit of casting, and then there was a little bit of our stuff as well. So it was a healthy mix, and that was wild.
Yeah, no, that's cool. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, man. Okay. Do a quick commercial, pay some bills, and we'll be right back. Oh, what's up? Hey, listen, quick break. We got to tell you about one of our amazing sponsors, and that sponsor is Your Six. Okay, you can go to your6.com to check them out. But let me tell you what Your Six does. They are a camera surveillance company, right? You see these cameras up on large commercial buildings or small buildings. It could be a restaurant, a coffee house, or a big commercial, edifice. And if you think about the surveillance that is available and the security that it provides, all this is in the cloud with Your Six, right? Now, Your Six is one of our vendors, so if you're looking to get a quick quote or quick options for security surveillance, reach out to mytechpartners.com. Let me tell you what else they do. Access control, anything security, right? If you think security, like access control on the doors, cameras inside, outside, I mean, it's cool stuff. And all of the footage lives in the cloud, so you don't have a lot of equipment and all that good stuff. So you can check them out at your6.com to see what's available, and then reach out to us to get a quote at mytechpartners.com. All right, guys, back to this episode. So Robbie, I'm impressed, man. I never knew the whole story. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But so it sounds like y'all got paid
Yeah, I mean, if you break down how much time went into it and what we got paid, it was about minimum wage. So.
But did you were saying before you saw the opportunity? So did that opportunity become a reality or
no?
Okay,
never did. So I think what you saw as this channel that the show Nashville was on, right? That's I credit a lot of our growth to that show and what that show brought to our city. And
the show Nashville.
Yeah. And we were supposed to follow that show, and there was a lot of cool ideas and stuff like that. Well, Nashville had got pulled off the air right before our show. Okay. The other thing that we didn't understand, and this is like hindsight 2020, is CMT wanted 23-year-old girls to watch our show, right? Makes sense. That's the demographic. The problem with that is it wasn't allowed on OTT, so no streaming, and you needed the premium sports package to watch it. So you're asking millennials to not only watch cable, to watch upgraded cable, and a channel that they wouldn't normally have.
Does not stream.
And then there's no reruns available on any of the streaming services. So hindsight, the show didn't take off in general. CMT eventually ended up canning all of their production. They don't make television anymore. The show after us didn't even go. I think the pilot aired and that was it. So they eventually ended up cutting it. And there was a lot of misfortunes that happened in there. And looking back, I wouldn't trade it for the world. There was a lot of personal things and business things that happened in between that time that ultimately made it not a success. But
so what was because CMT obviously, they wanted to hit that demographic, right?
Yep.
And they were not able to do that, which means they were not able to pull in the advertisers they wanted and generate
all of the above. Yeah, all of the above. And eventually what happens is they base on your ratings, right? So if you get X amount of people watching it a week, you can essentially increase advertising, increase. And I think it was that they got to 250,000 viewers a week, they would consider a season 2. Okay. And I think we peaked at like 114. Okay. 114,000 a week, something like that. So it was very small. And then it just all lined up. And then also right after we stopped filming season 1, they changed leadership at CMT. The new leadership did not have the same vision as the old one, understandably, because the company in general wasn't doing well. And then they ended up pushing the show 8 months from when it would air in the middle of our sales cycle for the new year to an August date, which everyone's already getting married and have already had their stuff. So kill our sales cycle. During those 8 months, there was a lot of things that happened. Like I had to front all of our payroll for 8 months because they're not going to do it. But I couldn't let everyone go because then when the show aired and I didn't have employees, it would look like a scam. So that cost me $100,000, like stuff like that, like that people don't see from the outside that go into it, and then it's like, that's
crazy, man. So, that's a crazy experience, but like you said, you wouldn't trade it. I mean, probably learned a lot.
Yeah, and through that, I had other friends look at me and say, hey, how can you help us do that? And that's how Hustle was born. Hustle was born because we did that for that company, and then other people would be like, hey, we saw that success. Can you apply that to our business?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So you essentially became an expert at like digital marketing. Yeah. Right. And so now, Hustle is, so tell us a couple of like success stories or case studies of folks that you're working with, and you don't have to be specific, but like exactly what you're doing with social media platforms or online, and then how it's growing brands or companies.
Yeah, I think, my big thing, is if you don't work in what you love, it makes it really hard, right? Definitely. So I chose right before COVID to really restructure everything and focus on niches that I love, which happen to be golf, beverages, entertainment. And then B is, I think that if you really dive into those, that riches are in the niches. That's always been my thing in the last 2 years, is like riches are in the niches. That's like my one little tagline.
Riches are in the niches.
Riches are in the niches, right? Yeah, exactly.
I didn't want to say that.
You should have said it.
Yeah, I'll let you say it. My dad's a preacher. Okay, go ahead.
So I think, getting into that, golf was one of mine. I was just lucky enough where a good buddy of mine owns a golf course. He took a leap of faith with us early and said, hey, we want to up our social game. And I was like, we can do this. We can crush it. It just so happened that a combination of that and COVID added like 35% of revenue to his business year over year, already as a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
So that kind of growth for that size business as a small business owner was huge, right? So that was awesome to see that. And that course is in Franklin, called Franklin Bridge. And we've had an awesome run with them. And then I think the other one most recently that we're looking forward to doing more of is we've gotten into this little celebrity liquor brand business. We started doing the NFL legend Terry Bradshaw, his bourbon. And they have seen tremendous growth, like 750% growth year over year. We went from essentially 9 to 42 states in a year. And I mean, just crazy exponential growth to revenue, to bottles, to distribution, everything. And obviously we're not the only factor in that, but it's cool to like sit side by side of that growth and say, hey, like we're contributing to that, because socials as well are growing. I mean, we've grown their Facebook like 7,000% in a year.
Wow.
Like crazy from 1,000 fans to like now 13,000 something. So stuff like that where it's just, and it's the same thing. It's just patience, right? Like what your document said, you just need patience online with everything.
So I think that like at some point, like when somebody starts a business, one of the first things that they'll do as it relates to marketing is create a Facebook page or an IG account and all this stuff. And, people, we obviously we want to grow those pages. We want to grow our following,
Right.
So what would be some feedback you would give a new business or an entrepreneur that's in the process of growing their online presence?
Yeah, I think really understanding who you're speaking to so you can understand how to speak to them, right? Like very basic stuff. Who is your customer? Where do they live, right? Facebook is everyone 50 to 90 years old right now. Instagram is everyone 20 to 50 years old.
Wait, 50 to 90? Dang. Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Think about it.
That's deep.
Like my mom is 65. She's on Facebook 24 hours a day. and my aunts are all on Facebook 24 hours a day. And my older sister is on like Instagram. Like, so you got to think about who it is, right? TikTok is that younger demographic, but yet the fastest growing part of TikTok is the 30s. Is everyone in their 30s. Yeah. So everyone adapts later, right? When we were kids or we were in college, Facebook was the thing. And then our parents were like, we'll never use that stuff. And now parents are all about it because while it's, there's all the negative side of it, the politics, blah, blah, blah. There's also the reconnecting with old schoolmates, seeing family.
It's connection.
Great. Yeah. So when a small business starts, they need to say, who are we talking to and where's the best places to reach them? And that will determine whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, whatever platform you choose. It's all dependent on that.
And so do you advise your clients, because I think about like creating a page, right? Like when we created our social media for this podcast, the first thing in my head was we need more followers. You know what I'm saying? We need more eyeballs on this stuff. And so what's your suggestion on how to do? Should it initially be organic? Should you go after do paid ads, or does it depend on whether you have a budget or not, or how aggressive you want to be? Yeah,
I think it all depends on your resources, right? And that would be your time resources and your financial resources. If you have it, you can always succeed with a budget because you can find more people like the ones you have. But and no matter what, you have to build a set of people that follow you based on what value you bring to them, right? Value always wins. And the more you can invest in that, whether that's time or money, you can grow that. But yeah, the biggest number one mistake that small businesses make, and I see it every day, and I'll even turn clients away because if they do it, is buying fans, followers, engagement, any of it.
Buying bots and
the minute you go down that road, you can't recover. It's almost impossible to recover because it messes with everything so much that it's so easy to spot a fake business, a fake influencer, a fake anything just on the amount of the ratio of likes to followers.
Yeah.
So like 100%. Like that's the first thing I do is like how many followers do they have, and then I'll go back to their first couple pictures. How many likes are they averaging? That's fake.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if a potential client comes to you like that, like what's your feedback?
Yeah, the feedback
you say I can't work with you.
No, well, it depends, right? What's the benefit to us financially, right? For anything as a price, right? I'll sit through and go through and take followers away one-on-one,
or you start over
for the right money. But yeah, it's a big thing. Like, and sometimes if those don't line up, it's like, hey, someone messed your stuff up. So you got to decide as a business owner what you want to do. I have a country music artist I work with that her last manager found someone that added 100,000 followers to her page, all live in Central Asia.
Wow.
It's like, it's just, they're all bots.
Yeah.
And it messes with all her stuff, and yeah, so it's tough. So I won't turn it away unless it's like they don't understand it or they don't agree with it. If they're like, hey, yeah, we did this and we like it that way, I'm like, all right, cool, you need to work with someone else.
Yeah.
But that's the number one error people can make.
Yeah. No, that's because is that a big business? Like people selling followers and
Huge
stuff?
business.
Yeah.
And people get tricked into it. It's a giant business. It's because vanity drives our lives. Everyone wants to be that person with more followers, but 100 followers who actually pay attention is way better than 1,000 that don't.
Yeah, we interviewed another tech entrepreneur, Adelaide, and her business is, what's her business? Twillo.
She does the influencer stuff.
Yeah,
I've talked to her before.
So she told me something I didn't know. Like an influencer could be somebody with 2,000 followers.
Oh yeah.
You know, as long as you got legit engagement and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I have 4,100 followers about, and my engagement's like 12%.
Yeah.
Which is like anything above 10% is like, you can really show, oh, those people care about that person's stuff. And that's just like, so an influencer, a micro influencer, which is anything like below 50,000, if they have great engagement because they actually have a following, it's way more valuable than that 250,000. That just because it's a quarter million.
Absolutely. So let me ask you this, since you're in the business, like do you have a favorite platform?
Ooh. Yeah, but I think it's just because kind of where I sit and my preferences, it's got to be Instagram.
Yeah. And so I read this statistic. It said like people open Instagram 150 times a day.
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
That is crazy.
I mean, I don't think I'm that much, but I mean...
Nobody does.
Well, you got to think that most people in this world, or at least this country, work a monotonous job that they don't enjoy. The stats have to say that. And when you do that, you're probably spending half your day doing things to avoid doing your job.
Dang, y'all don't enjoy y'all's job? I'm just playing. I
think this building is an exception to the rule.
Oh yeah. Why you say that?
Well, because I mean, if you come, I'm sure you've had a corporate job before, but like when I worked at Enterprise, we did anything we could to not rent cars. Like that was the end game, but like you didn't want to deal with customers, you want to do that. So I'm sure my employees were just on Instagram all day.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and I look at it the same way. It's like people that work in banks or do things that they just don't love. Bro, they're probably opening that thing every 2 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. But I mean, it's an addictive thing too.
It is.
So I would like to get your feedback too on that piece of it. You know, just the fact that, you know, I find myself sometimes having this knee-jerk reaction. Like I'm sitting in traffic. Oh, let me grab my phone and check IG. Like I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
I just reached for my phone, you know, and I get it because it's marketing. It's like Facebook wants you to stay on Facebook. IG wants you to stay on their platform and so forth. And because hey, that's how they make money. I mean, you know, you attract that market. But you know, how can we use that for our company in terms of, you know, I don't want to say getting people addicted to our brand or, you know, in that sales cycle, but what are some tools or some hacks that you may advise your clients?
Yeah, right now the big thing, well, tactic wise, the big thing is Reels. Reels is huge right now. Instagram is promoting businesses that use Reels over ones that don't.
Yeah.
Like we have a couple of clients that our average likes will probably be like anywhere from 50 to 100 on a post, but on Reels we're getting 5,000 to 6,000 views a Reel. That's a huge difference.
So what's the difference between a Reel and just a video? I mean, just
format. It's a little bit different. It's a little bit more organic. It takes more time to build, but essentially it's just a quick snippet. You can only have up to 15 to 59 seconds depending on the kind of the format of it. Most of them are really short, 15, 30 seconds. I don't even know the exact rule. We do the same thing. Agency owners are like, how are we going to do this? And a lot of it is like, I'll hire young college kids, be like, hey, teach us how to do these.
Yeah.
How would you do it? What's all the rules and stuff? So our interns are always the best at Reels.
Yeah.
Because that's what they
I believe
they
it.
live
Yeah.
on. But for whatever.
Reels seem like TikTok to me.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Okay,
It's their competitor version of TikTok. But for whatever reason, Instagram is rewarding them right now. So they want to promote them. So if you release a reel, it'll do better. It just will. It's based on the music you choose, the hashtags you use, and the content you create. So I think that's a tactic.
Yeah.
And then I think from a standpoint of how to execute is never before in marketing have we been able to segment audiences and build content around that, right? Because think about a television commercial. You make the commercial, you make everyone watch it. Now in that room of the living room, there's a mom, a dad, a child, and friends, whatever. Now what social allows you to do is take content and make content for the mom, target the mom. For the dad, target the dad. For the kids, target the kids. So that's how we have to think about, okay, cool, we're marketing for this business. How do we segment each one of those viewers, make content for them, and then target them?
Yeah.
The problem with that is it's still an expensive way to do it, right?
And it's time consuming.
It's time consuming, but that is the correct way to truly market a brand. Now everything's different, business to business is different, but this is like a business to consumer brand that doesn't have any legalities with age. That's how you do it.
Yeah. You do anything with YouTube as well?
Not as much. We'll post content that we make for others to YouTube and just have it as a library, especially in like the country music space. But you know, the monetization game is so, you had to be on the platform early. Get huge.
That's so tough.
To monetize. So we really use it as just a library, and you can do the in reel. You can do the ads in YouTube.
And they have what do they call it now? Shorts.
The shorts. That's just not our personal belief. Our belief is that social revolves around Facebook, Instagram, and soon enough TikTok.
Yeah. So where do you think this social game is going? Like, because I mean, it seems like every time, they started doing stories on, Instagram, or first it was Snapchat, then they showed up on Instagram and Facebook, now they're on LinkedIn and Twitter, you know what I mean? It's like it seems like each platform is kind of, playing off each other and trying to keep people on their platform. And then, it's probably going to be another platform that pops up later.
Always.
I mean, so what is your take on, I guess, depending on the company and the demographic they're targeting, that's where we go, right?
Yeah, 100%, and I think platforms will kind of settle. Facebook is still the biggest for like sales conversions, right? Because people are kind of trained to click on Facebook, and you can click the buttons and all that stuff, where Instagram is still very aesthetic. It's still very like, it's harder to convert to a sale on Instagram. It's getting better, but that, and then like Twitter, like for me, is sports and news. Like if I go for politics or if I go for sports, I'm going to Twitter, because that's just how it seems to me. And then like TikTok is young, cool, funny, blah blah blah. Golf, for me, it's like trick shots. I go to see all those people like bouncing ping pong golf balls off of weird stuff. And so I think they're all going to kind of settle, but I think another rule of business, especially in social media, is like the true definition of success is the ability to adapt and change. Like even since we started Hustle, which has only been 4 years, TikTok wasn't around. Advertising was completely different. So like, it's just always going to be evolving. I think there's going to be a lot more conversation and stuff around privacy as we grow, and Apple's already adapted it with their new platform for the iOS 14 and stuff, but yeah, I mean, it's just going to change all the time, and then people are going to find their favorites and stick to them.
Where are you guys at? What's next for Hustle? Like, what are you guys trying to do now?
Yeah, really leaning into short format video, which is TikTok, Reels, that stuff where you can really, you don't need to be, like, you don't need cinematics, right? You don't need to produce this long 3-minute commercial. You can hit the same message in 15 seconds using something cool, funny, organic, whatever. And playing off of a lot of the culture, like we call it culture hacking. What's relevant right now in culture?
Trending?
Yeah, what's trending? What's trending, and how do we play off of that? Is what we've been doing lately. So that's kind of what we're leaning into, which as a business owner is actually really unique to look at, because the talent then lies in the younger generations. So like we literally pay our interns it's really hard to find a paid internship in a cool industry in college, right? When we were in college, like you couldn't find a paid internship. Yeah, you're at the bank. And now like we literally have a job posting out there where we will pay college people for credit to make TikToks and Reels. Wow. Like that's it. Because they have a skill that is valuable to us.
How do you interview them or determine if they have that skill? Do they have to do some stuff?
The good thing is it's all out there on a platter for you.
Okay, got you.
You literally just look at theirs.
Yeah.
And,
Because I remember, never mind, I was going to tell the story. No, that's good, man. So you guys are doing that, and obviously, I guess just growing the business, client acquisition, more clientele in those markets.
Yeah, leaning into those three niches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Golf, beverage, entertainment. And it's funny because once all the people in those industries talk to each other. So once you get in with one, they start, you can kind of hear them talking to each other, and then you'll get a random request for another.
Yeah.
So, we've started doing Terry Bradshaw stuff with his bourbon, and since launched a second brand for him, which is more just it's a rye instead of a straight bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have 3 more celebrity releases planned by the end of the year.
Yeah.
So
now, how'd you get connected with Terry Bradshaw, man?
Through this charity that I work with. I work with a charity called Folds of Honor, which is a military charity here in Nashville, a national charity, but we have a Tennessee chapter, and one of the guys that's involved in it was the VP of sales.
Yeah.
And I went to him and I was like, hey, this social is really bad.
Wow.
I was like, it's really bad, and if you guys want to truly grow this brand, it needs to be way better.
Wow.
I was like, just trust me, and luckily they did.
Y'all had a relationship though, or did y'all?
Yeah, it was fresh, but it was like, the sales cycle in that was 7 months.
Okay.
So they're longer sales cycles, but eventually, they kind of win them out. But yeah, that was kind of how it went. I was just like, literally, I was like, this is bad.
Yeah.
Like, it needs to be better, and over time they're like, all right, cool, now it's been great.
No, that's cool. You know what I heard from that, Robbie? You volunteer for this organization.
Yeah.
So I want people to take away something. Like, if you're living on purpose and you're volunteering at a nonprofit organization you believe in, it could lead to good things. But even past that, you had the gumption to walk up to this dude or to have this conversation with him and say, hey man, this is trash and I can help you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, that's what I heard you say.
Yeah, I mean, I believe in dying on your sword, right? Whatever you believe in, go for it.
Yep.
I mean, the same with the golf course. I literally walked up and I was like, hey, I can do this for you. You don't know this yet, but that's always kind of how the conversation is. And some people get it and some don't. They don't, but
of course.
It's on them.
So how can people get in touch with you, man? How can people get in touch with Hustle Media?
Yeah, our website is hustlemedia.company. Full word. On socials at Hustle Media _co, and then you can follow me at RobbieGoldsmith.com and at Robbie Goldsmith.
Cool. And you still got the Facebook group too? Is it?
Yes, not doing as much with it. Yeah, now trying to figure it out. During COVID, I made a nice little cool COVID project with a buddy for a planner, and just experimenting with that kind of stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, not as much anymore.
All right, cool. Well, hey man, I definitely appreciate you coming in and chatting. Like I said, man, I've always looked at you as the guy who, like you said, you die on your sword, man. You walk with confidence, and I know what you do is going to be credible. So I knew it was going to be a good conversation. We got a gift for you.
Cool.
All right, man. We got a T-shirt, a Tech Don't Sleep.
I love it.
T-shirt, and folks, if you're watching this on YouTube, you too can get a T-shirt. How much are the T-shirts? Are we? No, you can get a T-shirt. You can just holler at me. We may have some left, but there you go, man.
Thank you.
Tech Don't Sleep in the building, and we got to thank our sponsors too, man. We got a lot of sponsors going on right now for this quarter, and hopefully, I know I can remember all of them. So we got Comcast Business, we got Your Six, we got Wow Cable, we got 8x8, we got Big Leaf Network, and ICS out of Birmingham, Alabama. So all of these sponsors actually sponsored our podcast launch, which happened August 27th.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And so we're going to do an event every quarter, and these sponsors really help us do this event, and they help us do the podcast. So we appreciate you guys. And by the way, if you need help with your telecom service, that's phone, internet, or TV service for your business, reach out to MyTech. We can connect you with these sponsors, with our vendors, and we'll be sure to get you some options to help you out. Thanks again, Robbie.
Thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Awesome.
Hey, y'all, please follow us on social media at TechDontSleep. Holla at y'all next time. Peace.